Okay, so my last two videos that I've recorded is about our nervous systems and what is happening to them. Like, they literally are feeling like they've been blown apart, which is what the greater collective will be magnifying and showing us through war. And our nervous systems are having to integrate our truth of who we really are. We're here to thrive and to be in joy and love and abundance, and we're having to get out of the matrix, basically, that is attaching us to fear, that keeps us attached to that, into survival. And we're attached to it because we believe that's our survival, so we stay in these systems, and there we go. It just keeps going round and round and round until we want to break the pattern and break the loop and really remember what is our truth, which is the connection to Earth, who's always supported us. And we've become so fragmented and disconnected from Earth, of Earth consciousness, Sophia Gaia, through the food, through our cycles, through the seasons, through time itself, because we now have, fake light, and we're just industrialized as souls, and we have forgotten our connection to Earth. And this goes so deep, so deep, in terms of where this hasn't just happened. It's been accentuated for the last kind of generations or so, but it's been going on for a very, very long time. And this has been from when they basically have tried to just suppress the feminine. And this is thousands of years where religion has come in and overlapped key ceremonies that would have been there to worship the mother, the fertility of earth, and also of women, for they're the gatekeepers of life. And so much has been layer caked over that to say, no, you access all of this through this. And so our subconscious would have remembered, our soul would have remembered, but because it then seems familiar, we get guided into it. I mean, you've just got to look at, for instance, the Kundalini, where you have the two snakes that meet, was one with the pine cone, the caduceus wand, and you got to see that which is connecting up in the pineal gland, which is our power and our sovereignty, how the Pope carries that, how it's also on ambulances here in the UK, that for the medical practice. And you've got, and our subconscious would be like, that's familiar, so I'll connect to it, but actually it's a distortion and it isn't our truth. I've got to ask you a question: why do ambulances have the caduceus wand? Why does it have the pineal gland? Why does the Vatican have this big pine cone? It's because it's all to do about the pineal gland, which is the access to our consciousness, to our soul. And so much toxicity has gone on to screw up our pineal gland calcification, whether that's through fluoride, whether it's through blue light. There's so EMF, it all just kind of dysregulates us. And so there's so much that could be shared here, but we are having to remember who we are as souls and the power that we are, and looking at where we have given away our power in so many different ways, whether it's governance, whether it's money, whether it's just through our day-to-day routines, whether it's through people. And what I've noticed, especially is going on, is that we're having to find our own inner safety, how we ground, how we connect into our body. And we've got the full moon coming up, and tomorrow, which will be another eclipse. We're going through these different eclipse portals right now, which is really trying to shatter us from our illusions and wake the fuck up, basically. And so much of the untruths are being seen, to see the truth of what things are, and the inequality and the greed and the corruption. It's all being seen. It's like being made really pretty obvious for us to really wake up. I mean, there will still be some in what they call dissonance coherence or something, in terms of where you, no matter what the truth is being shown to you, you still won't want to believe something else. And people will be in that. And I think for those, will get one hell of a shock of their life when they're in that. I also see that when with spirituality, which I like to call consciousness now, is actually how conscious we are. We have to be really mindful, is that spirituality has often been a bypassing of reality, of this world. And there's no judgment there, because let's face it, this world is pretty toxic. It can be pretty heavy, and we just want to get out of it. You know, when we connect into this other realm, it's much more peaceful. There's love. We love it there, right? But this ascension thing that everyone talks about isn't about just going up. It's about going down, really down into your body. And the words were earth up. Earth up, Gem. It's like, where's all this power supposed to go? It's like, we're supposed to be earthing it. We need to earth it into our bodies, into our nervous systems, into our blood, into our DNA, so the carbon DNA can become more of a diamond crystallized light that can hold these higher frequencies. And if you think of a diamond, it's carbon that has been compressed over so length of time and heat, yet it remained its integrity and becomes diamond. This is what we are being called to, is how are we being really true and into our integrity? Where have we created avoidance tactics to just disconnect? How we've created our own disillusionment and our own illusions. And it's going to be really asking us, what the fuck is our truth? And that's really interesting how that's led me on to what created Daughters of the Golden Rose for me back in the summer, was coming from an entity that was attached to me. And it was to the point, it's like, who am I? I thought it was me. And so it really was a crashing point for me back over in the solstice, summer solstice, of like, who the fuck actually am I if I believe this is me? Because it attached to my fear of I'm not enough. And so it actually was saying, oh, I can channel these light codes, and there's this great gift and power that's just woken up in me. But it hadn't. And interestingly, when you look at that, when you're saying I'm creating light codes, and you access those light codes through me, because it's this gift, this uniqueness. What you're actually doing is saying you access your spirituality through me, right? Again, that's another play of taking away people's sovereignty. This is where it all began, 12,000 years ago, where the Magi, Atlantis, so this is where I sound like a cuckoo for some, but where they literally were holding the energies of earth, of love, suddenly, of Sophia, suddenly decided, actually, this is really powerful, this is me, and turned their back on Sophia and said, you access this through me, and we call it God, and or whatever we want to call it. And so again, that fed off the energy of those people, rather than doing it directly to source, to the heart of source. They had to access it through something else, which was building power upon power of what is called, the separation, the illusion of that. And so we are literally breaking it down on so many layers. Whether you want to call yourself spiritual, you've got to ask yourself, are you in avoidance somewhere? Are you really in your body? Because I have seen different people the last few weeks. It's actually they're so disconnected to themselves. They're very spiritual, but when they had to get into their body, it's caused complete dysregulation, because we jump out of our bodies when we haven't felt safe. And I've experienced that through trauma as well. I could see my inner child was outside of self. And it wasn't until I did the inner work, the healing of the nervous system, to bring in this inner safety, but was she safe to come back? So we talk about soul retrieval, we talk about different parts coming back to self, but it'll only do that if we've actually created the environment for that body, for that part of self to come back, that pureness, that innocence, that gift as well, because we've got to really discern, is like, when we're in and we're doing this work, are we doing it for the highest greatest good, or are we feeding this smoke and mirrors of distortion that is still actively trying to stop us from getting to the heart of source? And what showed me how we get to the heart of source is by dropping into your heart. It's not hard, it's really quite simple, right? Being present with your heart, getting deeper through breath, expanding into your heart portal. That's where your truth is. That's where your pureness, your innocence sits, right there, the anahatra, the unstruck. That's where we connect. And it was through that I was then taken down to my womb, to this white light, where the proclaim was, I am Sophia. This gateway that is Sophia, that is the mother of all creation, is in our wombs. But you can only access her through the portal of love. And it can never be taken by force. And which is why a lot of suppression has happened towards the females, because and the innocence of young children, because they think they're going to get hold of that essence, that creatix, the purity that to create, but they never have. And a lot of people think it's been taken from them, but it hasn't. It's been encoded into the earth. She's holding it, like Persephone being held into the earth to await for us to be completely, really conscious in our bodies, to be able to receive her back. And it felt like there was an oath that was created, that none of this soul pureness could ever be taken. It feels like it's been taken, but it's held within earth. It's being kept pure for us to remember to return that back to ourselves. This is soul retrieval. That we do it through our body, we do it through our nervous systems, we do it through our spine, we do it through a cerebral spinal fluid, we do it through our organs, our blood. This is how we do it. I feel there's a good song coming on there. This is how we do it. Anyway, but that's how we do it. We don't just do it all from here. This is part of it, but it's all about embodiment. And we're regenerating our nerves, we are regenerating our spine, and we have to really start to build practices that we are creating that inner environment of safety. And everything else that's going on, even in your own chaotic world, even in your own home life, and everything that's going on that feels completely chaos. I mean, you might be looking on the outside world and thinking, shit, this is chaos. What can I do about it? But then equally, you might be chaos in your own inner world as well. And you have to go deep into your own, deep into your body to find that inner peace, that inner safety. So even amongst the storm, you've got that calm, and that's your truth. That is the axis of truth, is the eye of the storm, even if it's encompassing your whole life right now. So you have to breathe, you have to come into your heart, you have to be present with that and continue. So yeah, we are going through quite a lot, and we need to breathe, we need to connect into our bodies, into our hearts, and be present as much as we can, and know that when we go off piste, that's okay. Give some love and compassion, come back in, be back in nature, switch off the news. Don't allow your brain and mental energy to be taken. We've really got to run the healthy boundaries, the discernment. And I know you're obviously going to be watching this on social media, but it's really being discerning and being strong with yourself to what you actually open yourself up to, and really ask those questions of, am I avoiding? Am I in avoidance? Am I safe in my body? Do I feel safe? Do I feel safe in myself, my truth? And allow yourself to just inquire, but with curiosity, not judgment. Okay, this is really important. And this is what the love to heal concept is, what I've created. It's about how you listen and observe yourself and your body, what your body's trying to tell you from the messages, because it's always trying to get us back to love, to joy, to peace, our truth. Our body is amazing. It's never trying to hurt us. It's always trying to bring us back to our truth, our power. And so it's encoded with everything we need to know. We just need to remember how to listen to it. So it's about listening and observing ourselves with curiosity, right? Not with judgment. And so when we see patterns of resistance, avoidance, we can just be present with that. Because when you're present with resistance, rather than resisting resistance, it cannot exist. So when you're present with your resistance, when you breathe to it, when you meet it with compassion, it softens, it dissolves. It may well be a part of you, a younger version of you, that's just waiting, calling, crying to be heard, to be listened to be loved, to be seen, to be witnessed. This is much as what my journey has been through doing the childhood trauma work. And a lot of the time my busyness was because I was just trying to dodge this black cloud. because I thought this black cloud was trying to hurt me, and it wasn't. It was a younger version of me just wanting to be loved, to be heard. And yes, you cry with that connection. It's like a grief that moves through your body, but then you also experience that joy of that reconnection too. So with the moon, the full moon, the eclipses, and all the meditations that I've been recording leading up to that is all about rebirthing to ourselves, reconnecting, earthing our bodies to build up that practice, to start reclaiming those parts of ourselves. And it's done gracefully. You can't bypass or jump these processes and think you're going to be okay with it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, however that lands with you right now, and to know that we're all going through it in our own way. That also to know that when you look on the outside world and see the chaos, your influence to that, because often we can feel helpless and hopeless, but our influence to that is actually how we create inner peace in ourselves. Because the more we do that and break the patterns of not falling for the fear and the propaganda that just gets drummed into us, you break that pattern in the collective field, which then gives a bump, it gives a blip, which enables somebody else to possibly feel that blip and change and awaken to these things. So don't believe yourself when you feel like you can't do much. Tune into what you can do, and that is self-regulation. That's connecting to your body, it's connecting to your heart, and connecting to earth, and just starting to remember who you really are. And that's the collective of individuals doing that. Just imagine how powerful that will become. We are at that tipping point right now. Our nervous systems are at that tipping point, going fight, flight, fear, fawn, and then the other part's going, no, we must be actually just connecting and integrating this huge energy, but it's like, I can't do this all on my own. So this is why we have to really root and ground and earth ourselves. It's so important. So it's just get into your body, dance, breathe, sea swim, cold water, whatever it is that just gets you in your body and out of your head. And that is why I've created the Love to Heal, which got movement meditations. So it's a beautiful course that can help you really understand that your intelligence that is your body, to remember who you really are, and to break all these belief systems and patterns. And then you've got Daughters of the Golden Rose for the women that are really starting to awaken up to their power and want to be the change makers, to be the shifts, that they do it for themselves first. And through that, they start to really, through their womb and their heart, start making these shifts and build something which I call the creatix, which is our truth, which is what pure consciousness is. And we're building that back up again. So lots of love, peeps. And if you want to join me on the full moon meditation, it's 8:30. It'll be on Zoom. It'll be an energy exchange of £8. But for those already on the Infinity Health Hub, that will just be part of it, so you don't have to pay that. And that's only £11 a month, so you might as well just do the monthly subscription and get all these meditations that you can access at any point, basically. So give me a shout, send me a message if you want the Zoom link, and if you want more in details, just hop onto the infinityhealthhub.com. This is where all my resources are, which I've been busy doing for the last 6 years, which now I really realise for this very moment. All right, lots of love. Take care.